TYT Sports. Francis on the end, Michael Shore in the middle. Hello, Michael.
Where he belongs.
Where he belongs.
Where he belongs.
We always put the guests in the middle now.
Is that a thing?
Yes, that is the thing we do now.
Apart from when we get Ben and we try and push him
I
to the side.
can't believe I'm a guest on the Young Turks. At this, 84 years later, I'm a guest on the Young Turks.
You look good.
Michael, you look really good for 84.
Thanks, thank you.
So Tom Brady, Deflategate, PhoneGate, Ballghazi, still up. It's still running.
It's running because it's his fault.
Right.
It's only running because of Tom Brady.
Very true. Quick, interesting point about that. If he pled guilty, if he just said, yes, I did this.
Yeah.
2-game suspension. Automatically.
Maybe even one.
Maybe even one.
And he had to say a few more things than just, I did this.
Right.
You know, he had to
admit guilt.
Apologize, admit guilt, talk about how he dealt with it and what
We're
happened.
in the 21st century now. You simply take a selfie, you tweet out to the world that I'm sorry, I did this wrong, and that's how it's classified.
So you're saying maybe just a 1 or 2 game ban for altering the equipment?
For altering the equipment. So here's the thing. Dan Patrick made a fantastic point this morning on the Dan Patrick radio show. His whole point was centered around the idea that all these quarterbacks do it for comfort. It's a matter of comfort with the footballs. But it was still against the rules, therefore you have to pay the price and the penalty. Dragging this out over the course of 6 months, even though it's a pulped-up storyline, a pulped-up headline, in my opinion, to bury the other awful atrocities that are going on with the NFL.
I don't think there's anything more atrocious, I mean, in terms of breaking the rules of the NFL. I mean, the atrocious stuff is the off-field stuff that's happening.
Right.
But in terms of
like
within the confines of the
integrity?
game, this is bad. But again, we're talking about football. So, I mean, atrocity might not be the right word. It's terrible what he did, but I don't think different than, I'm not defending it because I couldn't be happier that he's out, that he's going to be suspended. But it's not different than scuffing a baseball or putting a little extra pine tar or, over taping your hockey stick or making your goalie pads a little wider than they ought to be. And I'm sure there are things in what's that sport, the soccer, that they do that are similar. But it's the whole cover-up and the whole, it's like Nixon. It's everything. Everybody's going to go away, but it's covering it up.
The funny thing you said there actually is that when I thinking about it for like the biggest sport in the world, was like
I said goalie pads. Goalie pads are sometimes they make them wider.
Like it's what I don't understand is like, so what happens before is teams have made their fields a little wider than the requirements. Like they've just did things like that. But I've never heard of a player deliberately like changing the weight of a ball. Like the referee, this is what I talked to you about, Jason. This is just absurd to me, is that the referee is in charge of bringing the equipment out. So if there's anything wrong, then it's the neutral guy on the field that's the problem. Because he's the one that's adjusted the ball.
Not before the rule change that was made in this offseason regarding that, because what would happen is they'd bring out the balls. Again, talking more about freaking New England Patriots and footballs is insane to me. But you bring out the footballs, they get tested between 12.5 and 13.5 PSI. They get brought back into the equipment room for about an hour and a half before game time, and each team is responsible for providing their own 8 to 10 footballs. Again, they changed that rule. Now the referees are going to have a totally different process in which this can't happen again. And a lot of this falls on McNally, the equipment manager, who for a minute and 40
you were
seconds...
looking for a shorter answer, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking for just a quick...
Yes, but for the minute 40 seconds, that's literally what all of this has centered around: a cell phone and the minute and 40 seconds that McNally, the equipment manager for the New England Patriots, who claims that Tom Brady told him to alter the footballs, was that they're talking a 100-second window here.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's probably popular right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? But
I think he's been
altering equipment has happened. Spitballs are a big thing that baseball players do. They file them down. They get suspended always. They get fined always. But it's not it's the lying about it and the covering it up and throwing your cell phone away.
Innocent until proven guilty. They have zero proof against Tom Brady. Zero, nothing, no hard evidence that this actually happened, besides a broken cell phone with no records of the text messages and no records at all to show this actually happened. If this was the Miami Dolphins, this story doesn't even make a headline anywhere.
Exactly.
This doesn't even get buried on page 25.
Exactly. Also, I think there is a little bit of delight in taking down Tom Brady.
But why would the NFL want to take down Tom Brady?
Well, because they want to talk about the integrity of their game. And
but he is one of their biggest stars.
The NFL, I mean, I know he's one of their biggest stars. That doesn't matter. Their stars go. They come and they go. The game is what they have to maintain, and that's what they always
they
say.
can't do anyway. But
What's that? Right, but as whatever the state of the game is, they want to preserve that. And listen, it's a pretty good thing they've got going.
And
they're all replaceable. These
and
fellas.
you got to make an example out of one of your most known stars as well, because if he can get away with doing that, what else can people in the league get away with doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he gets off maybe lighter than what you'd expect for an offence of, like, I don't want to get into the details about what actually comes to the difference between the ball, whether you alter or not.
Right.
But if I'm thinking about my sport as, again, if you're altering the ball, you're doing it for your benefit. You're doing it for your benefit, and the opponent team has no say in that.
there's a key word there, and that is if. If you are, and if they can't prove.
But there's a preponderance of evidence from people who were involved with it, from investigations they did. You're right. Is there a photograph of it? Is there a smoking gun? No. But there was a phone that was destroyed. That's smoking gun-ish, right?
So by due process, by how our legal system works,
but this
how
isn't our
the
legal
NFL
system. This is the National
They're
Football
taking
League.
it. No, they're taking it to the federal court.
And they are. Well, they may. They may. I mean,
this is definitely American.
that's up to Tom Brady if they're going to take it to court.
Right.
Whether or not they do, I mean, the farther it goes, the worse he's going to look, because this,
of course.
and so I think he, at this point, my gut, and I may be wrong, is he's just going to take the suspension, call it a day.
Taking suspension
just
admits that he did something.
for the record.
No, he doesn't have to admit that he did. He just takes it. Says, "Well, this is what they said. I'm pissed at them. They told me that I'm not going to be on the field for 4 games. Screw them. But I'm just going to take it and move on."
So we have some interesting elements to throw to. First off, we have to get to Tom Brady's Facebook post. Like I said, you have to do it through Facebook or Twitter now. I can't just do an actual press conference.
I'm not on Facebook, so I missed this.
Snapchat. What are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. That's what I do. Twitter. No Instagram, just Twitter.
We got Twitter.
Only Twitter.
You can reach Michael on Twitter. Tom Brady's Facebook post. I'm very disappointed by the NFL's decision to uphold the 4-game suspension against me. I did nothing wrong, and no one in the Patriots organization did either. Despite submitting 2 hours of testimony over the past 6 months, it is disappointing that the commissioner upheld my suspension based upon a standard that it was probable that I was generally aware of misconduct. The fact is that neither I nor any equipment person did anything of which we have been accused. He dismissed my hours of testimony, and it is disappointing that he found it unreliable.
Signed Tom Brady's attorney.
Yeah, but got many likes on Facebook. But you don't. It's like a favorite, on Twitter.
I know what I know what it is. I'm just not.
I just want to make sure.
I've heard of it.
And it holds a lot of weight. If you go, I set a status and 62 people liked it. All right, he must have said something he meant.
Right.
So if Tom Brady's, I'm guaranteeing, got like hundreds of thousands of likes and shares, he must be right.
It must be.
Yeah.
It must be.
Well, that's just how it works nowadays. Other interesting element: Robert Kraft's owner of the Patriots press conference. Roll tape.
I was wrong to put my faith in the league. Given the facts, evidence, and laws of science that underscore this entire situation, it is completely incomprehensible to me that the league continues to take steps to disparage one of its all-time great players and a man for whom I have the utmost respect. Personally, this is very sad and disappointing to me.
Well, here's the thing about what Kraft just said and what Kraft did. He paid the fine. He didn't like it, and he moved on. He said this is ridiculous, but he had to pay $1 million. He had to, make. There were. He gave up 2 draft choices that he could. A first and a 4th rounder. A little bit random, the 4th rounder, but in 2017. But still, it's a big penalty. If he was irate about this, he could have fought that. I mean, $1 million and 2 draft choices, especially the 2 draft choices. But he didn't, and that's what Brady should have done.
Well, that's it. Go back to January 23rd when all this started breaking. I mean, or at least go like a day after the Super Bowl, I should say. After you win, just be like, yeah, sorry guys, I fucked up. He's probably
or say nothing, be pissed, be wrong. Like maybe he really does
just take the suspension.
Because nobody wants to admit that they did something that they didn't do, and clearly
it makes it tainted. Especially it can taint the title.
Yeah, I would just say
no.
I would just take it and.
That is one thing that is for certain, at least in my personal opinion.
They would have won the game despite it.
This doesn't taint anything about Tom Brady.
But you don't find that fans are going to do that.
No, because fans are idiots.
Yeah. Well, but they're not though. I mean, if I'm a
this isn't
a fan
the Jets,
of,
you're pissed.
If I'm a Seahawks or at that point it was the Colts. If I was a fan of the other team, whoever it was, I would really be pissed because it's an unlevel playing field. And whether or not I agree with you, I don't think it made a difference. I think the season ends the same way. I don't know enough about how important it is to deflate a ball, but I do know that if I'm a Colts fan, I'm really angry about it.
I think you should be angry that your defense gave up 35 points in the second half with actually regulated, inflated footballs.
There's a lot that you're upset about, but it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you still, I know that the Colts were going to lose that ball game, right? Because of what you just said.
Because of deflated footballs?
But yes, well, no, because of what you just said, because they let up 35 points. But who knows what happened in the first half and what would have happened? Possessions, would they have had the ball more? Would they have scored more? I don't know. Would balls been overthrown that they could have intercepted? I don't know.
The same thing applies for like breaking the rules in general, right? So 2 years ago, my team Celtic got destroyed by a low-level team in a qualifying game to make it into Champions League.
Why are they not Celtic?
I don't know why. Like, Celtic is the way it's considered, but Celtic is just the way it's always been said. I know there's some history behind it. They're probably going to laugh at me and not call me a true fan.
Right.
So thanks for bringing that up.
No problem.
But the team that beat us, like
I can't understand it.
the team that beat us so easily, like they fielded an ineligible player with like a minute to go. A guy who should have been, who was actually acquired, I think, a suspension and shouldn't have been playing. They no longer made it to the next stage, and Celtic did after being demolished easily. But does that matter? Should we feel discarded that we didn't deserve to be there or we didn't deserve that? It's still adjusting the rules, so you're still going against something. So whether it's that or the fact that they could have won that game without the balls being deflated or anything, if you're a fan of that team, you still don't feel that the playing field was level, no matter what.
Right.
And everyone neutral fan knows that game was one-sided, but Michael's right. There might have even been a confidence thing. Once they figured that out, that might have shot their confidence. They might not have been up for the task and felt that they were being disgruntled against. You never know.
Interesting point. I disagree. But more now to some lighthearted, fun things.
Yeah.
Newspapers.
Fun?
The back pages of the newspapers like to make some fantastic images.
Like putting gate on everything?
Yeah, we do put gate on a lot of things. But that was Jon Stewart who said that first.
Who said what?
Jon Stewart. Why do we have to put a gate on everything in America?
He wasn't the first person to say it.
It was one of the first.
I'm pretty sure I said it first.
It was Francis
It
Maxwell.
happened. Watergate was 1974, and they were doing gates in the 80s, and people were like, "Oh, no."
I was born in the
okay,
80s, so it must have been me.
I was speaking of the sports.
Sports gates.
Sports
Okay.
gates.
Yeah.
Watergate was a hotel.
Watergate was a hotel.
So adding gate makes no sense actually to any of these other things.
Right. Well,
It's not like Ballgate is a hotel in New England.
right. Yeah.
Could be.
If
Good
it had
name.
happened at the Hilton, this wouldn't have been Bolton. Right.
Nice. Now we move forward to the newspapers, including a cover-up. Giselle hides in a burqa. I don't think that's actually her, but it's pretty funny. Deflategate bombshell, Tom destroyed phone. New York Post is always great with this. Next one, we have Go to Sell.
Go to Sell is a
Not
good one.
bad.
I like Go
It's
to
not
Sell.
bad.
Daily News.
I like the Goodell and Tom Brady drawing more.
Yeah.
And we move forward to the last one. I included this for one specific reason. As you can see on the bottom, the 162 GAM PED ban.
For Henry Mejia.
For Henry Mejia.
Yeah.
No, you phony. Not bad. That's not bad. Do you like
good.
Do you like Go
Phony.
to Sell more or you like you phony more?
I go to Sell.
Do you guys
I
have
like,
more?
I like Go to Sell, but you phony is pretty good. Yeah.
Do you know what makes these things so much better, to probably wrap up the final point, is always the people who are at the forefront of the controversy have always pulled the most like unflattering faces in the past. So Tom Brady cried that one time in the what was that, post-match interview?
Yeah.
They cried in. That's just going to be... Was a game?
Game.
Post what?
Post-game.
Post-match?
We call it a game.
Post-match interview.
call it a match.
So after the post-match, and he cried in that, and that just it gives the trolls just the arsenal that they
Right.
need to put any meme with anything together, and his face will
With
be at the
tears,
forefront
yeah,
of that.
exactly.
It's unfortunate. So don't cry in the future, Jason, if you become famous and someone makes fun of you.
Oh, I have the thickest skin in this stuff. Have you read our YouTube comments? We have tweets, though. We have tweets. We move forward. Tweets. Let's see the tweets. I'm going to keep saying tweets. My assistant Jack Daniels and I actually destroy a cell phone every 4 months or so. Usually just a screen, but I get it. It's funny. Alcohol.
That's good. That was
I don't know if
Chris
it was
Long,
worth-
by the way. Chris Long, who went to the
Yes.
University of Virginia.
Howie Long father, right? Who's the broadcaster
Yeah.
and played. This news only confirms what we already knew. Tom Brady isn't a mobile quarterback.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Bang, shots fired. Bang,
Boom.
bang, bang. Next, Tom Brady's suspension will cost him $1.88 million, or what Giselle makes every 2 weeks.
According to Forbes. Oh.
Is that true that
She's loaded.
she makes that much money?
Yeah,
makes
I think she wears the pants. We were talking about this the other day.
The Forbes 100 list, she was way higher. Like, he wasn't even in the Forbes 100 rich list, and she was
She's way up
very
there.
high up on that list.
Wow. I didn't realize that. I mean, I assumed that maybe she made more than him, but almost $1 million a week? That seems...
It seems like a crazy amount. I think
A lot,
maybe that's during the working year for Giselle if she's doing modeling shoots.
Working
like a 2 week
day, when
period.
she does that shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, working year's a bit elaborate, Jason.
You don't know what she does. Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Don't kill him. Don't kill Tom Brady, Roger Goodell. Please. Not like Rob Stark.
We should be in the post-match conversation.
I think we should be in the post-match conversation and put Gate on anything else.
You're on the American sports side here.
All right, round this
Or
up. Gate.
Canadian sports side, I should say. Michael, sure. Francis, Michael, and Jason, leave all your comments in the comment section below regarding Tom Brady. Do you think he should be suspended? What are your thoughts on the NFL? Roger Goodell, Robert Kraft, everything we discussed in this clip. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and share everything on Twitter at TYT Sports. We'll see you next time.